Morning everyone, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all well. I'm Erica, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to read to you about first aid training on yachts. I have strong feelings about this, as I do about most things. So I hope you're sitting comfortably. Grab yourself a coffee, glass of wine, vodka coke, you do you. But yeah, let's crack on, shall we? Let's get into it. So, first aid training, I wrote this for Dock Walk in 2023. Now the super yacht industry, synonymous with opulence and luxury, I think I swallowed a dictionary that morning, represents a world of glamour and high stakes adventure on the high seas. However, beneath the surface of extravagance lies a concerning reality being highlighted by many industry members, the lack of adequate ongoing first aid training for crew. In an industry where emergencies can arise in remote locations, far from immediate medical assistance, the absence of comprehensive offshore or wilderness first aid training is a critical gap that needs urgent attention. With more super yachts choosing to sail to remote and exotic destinations far removed from the conveniences of modern healthcare facilities, this is something that the industry cannot ignore. Medical situations on board can range from minor injuries to more severe incidents such as cardiac events, fractures, and other life-threatening emergency situations. In these scenarios, the ability of crew members to provide immediate and effective first aid can make the difference between life and death. While some level of first aid training is covered in the basic STCW safety training modules, many crew and captains I spoke to feel that the basic first aid knowledge may not be sufficient when dealing with the unique challenges posed by maritime environments. Couple that with the potential delays in accessing professional medical help due to remote cruising, and we could have a recipe for disaster. Now, the International Maritime Organization, the IMO, has established guidelines for medical training on ships, but these guidelines may not be tailored to the specific needs of super yachts, which often operate with smaller crews and limited medical facilities. As a result, many crew members lack the specialised training needed to handle emergencies effectively. Several challenges contribute to the lack of first aid training in the super yacht industry. One significant hurdle is the tight schedules and the demanding workload of crew members, leaving little time for extensive training programs. Moreover, the cost associated with comprehensive first aid courses and the logistical difficulties of organising training sessions while at sea add to these complexities. The consequences of inadequate first aid training in the super yacht industry can be severe. Delayed or improper response to medical emergencies may lead to worsened conditions, increased risk of complications, and in extreme cases, loss of life. Beyond the human toll, incidents involving insufficient first aid response can also have legal and reputational repercussions for yacht owners, operators, and the industry as a whole. Addressing the lack of first aid training in the super yacht industry requires a collaborative effort from industry stakeholders, regulatory bodies, and training organisations. Recognising the unique challenges faced by crew, specialised first aid courses tailored to maritime environments should be developed and they should be mandated. Right now, it seems strange that with the basic STCW training, only survival and firefighting have to be renewed every 5 years. Why not the first aid module too? Perhaps it's assumed that as crew move up the ranks, they will do further courses as required. For example, someone on the deck route pursuing their OOW 3000 will need to complete the MCA Proficiency in Medical First Aid and the medical care courses as part of their training. But we all know there are many deck crew who don't progress past Yachtmaster offshore. Now, engineers not moving past AECs 1 and or AEC 2. And what about chefs and interior crew? To become a chief stew, you don't need to complete any further official training, yet you might be responsible for a full team. Seems like there's a few gaps the industry needs to fill. I spoke to a couple of people at Medical Support Offshore, MSOS, a company with offices in Palma, Antibes, Southampton and Fort Lauderdale, who offer, you guessed it, medical support to offshore vessels. In addition to the MCA courses, they tailor training for vessels and crew, offering specialist training, medical kits, telemedical support and design consultancy. Nick Stelvan Holstein, MSOS Europe Sales Manager and the New Build Manager, has 19 years in the industry. Well, since I wrote this, he's now got 21. With a strong background in scuba diving, Nick was trained to run and operate hyperbaric chambers and has a passion for helping yachts and crew achieve their medical training goals. I asked him what his impression was of the current level of first aid training for yacht crew and specifically about first aid drills or scenarios. Although these aren't required on board yachts, I would love to see them carried out. For example, would a junior decky or stew recognise the first signs of a guest having a stroke? He told me, generally speaking, I think crew could do more regular first aid training, especially on board. When they conduct safety day training, such as fire drills and man overboard, it would be easy to incorporate any number of first aid scenarios. Keep in mind, it's basic first aid we are teaching them, even the captains with the medical care course, which was previously called the Ship's Captain Medical. Their job is to provide primary first aid and maintain the person until they can get them to professional medical care. We recommend a full first aid refresher day on board at least once a year when a season is about to start, and particularly with new crew joining. For me, it's not done regularly enough, as it could be. He also said even though the MCA courses have good content and address lots of first aid scenarios, that bespoke onboard training can cover more topics. MSOS have found their bespoke courses to be super popular. Currently, their trainers are maxed out and courses are full. Their trainers are doctors, nurses, EMTs and medical professionals who all have a passion for maritime medicine and have maritime experience. As Nick says, they're not your average trainer. One of these trainers had time to talk to me. Amanda Beaver teaches marine medicine, expedition medicine, extreme sports medicine, along with resilience and psychological first aid. She's written journals, been a senior lecturer at Tasmania University, has her own company, and is partway through a PhD. So we can safely assume she's more than qualified to talk on this topic. Prior to MSOS, she worked with Medair for 10 years and with the owner of Yacht Medics. Amanda shared her thoughts on the current MCA medical courses with me. Although they've got some great content, I feel they're all lacking in mental health and women's health. These are just a couple of the gaps I'm currently trying to fill. The number of captains who let their medical care certificate lapse and then expect us to turn a blind eye and instead of properly renewing it, just want to do a quick refresher is extraordinary. These captains are responsible for the well-being of several crew and guests. I think they should do at least 3 days a year as a refresher, and even that's not enough in my opinion. Consider the oil and gas industry or commercial shipping. You can be sure those operatives have to do regular first aid courses. It's concerning that we see seniors in the industry choosing not to do medical courses if their tickets don't demand it. Amanda has trained the America's Cup teams and various race teams, plus a number of vessels travelling to extreme or harsh environments such as the Arctic or Antarctica. She focuses on high-performance race and sailing yachts as she feels that's where her strengths are. She has lots of experience racing and sailing. Moving forward, she'd love to see companies like MSOS having trainers dedicated to different kinds of vessels. So someone who'd be dedicated to mega yachts, someone like her for high-performance sailing and racing programs, and then someone else for smaller private yachts and so on. We all know that every yacht owner and program is unique, so this could well be a great solution. Amanda agreed that most crew do the minimum to get by, but one thing she's found is her clients come back to her time and time again. 70% of my clients are repeat and get me back every year. I have clients who've been with me 15 years or more, and these are the leaders in the industry who share the importance of that knowledge with others, so hopefully the crew they mentor or lead will also want to progress and improve their medical skills. Having just come back from a stint at Tasmania University teaching nurses, doctors and paramedics how to do marine, expedition and extreme sports medicine at sea, Amanda would love to combine her two worlds and run a course with these medical professionals along with yacht medics. That way the doctors can show the crew how to do medical drills, how to be better, whilst the yacht crew can show them how to apply marine medicine, especially in hostile and remote environments, effectively sharing experiences to find new solutions and ideas. Nick is concerned that most yachts and crews just do what's required to meet flag standards or safe manning requirements. He feels they could refresh skills more often. It really sits with the captain. Some are very good at installing regular training programs, others, and more the majority, less so. He went on to say that sadly it often takes a significant medical incident for captains to become more vigilant and aware. On the plus side, MSOS have definitely seen an increase in vessels reaching out to get their crews suitably trained, especially for those venturing further afield. It's also super important that yachts are equipped with the right gear to manage medical situations. Above and beyond the legal requirements, companies like MSOS can help the vessel tailor their equipment to their specific needs. But it shouldn't stop there. Kits should be maintained and inventoried regularly. MSOS maintain and manage this for their clients to avoid any problems. Usually on the larger vessel, this will come under the chief officer or captain's control, as they will hold the higher medical qualifications. Worth considering on smaller yachts with fewer crew where the responsibilities lie. If in a crew of 4 it's all on the captain, what happens if he or she is the one who needs the medical assistance? Crew need to be aware of their responsibilities and make sure they improve their own knowledge and skills in first aid, and not just expect or hope that someone else can help in an emergency situation. As the industry continues to grow, it is imperative that industry leaders take proactive measures to address this gap in first aid training. By implementing specialised training programs, raising awareness, and encouraging a culture of safety, the superyacht industry can navigate the uncharted waters of emergency response far more safely, ensuring the protection of lives and the sustainability of its reputation. So there you have it. Let me know what you do on board your yachts. What first aid training, what ongoing continued training, upgrades, refreshers do you do? Do you do drills? Do you do medical drills? Let me know in the comments. Drop me some notes below, or you can drop me a line directly if you prefer, as always. And look after each other out there, please. Don't want any more injuries. Thank you.